When I checked my phone, I noticed I had 13 missed calls, all from my mother-in-law, Martha. Not again, I thought to myself. Just then, my phone vibrated again. I answered reluctantly, and Martha's voice came through, filled with anger. She demanded to know why the monthly allowance of $3,000 hadn't been sent yet. I tried to explain that the payment hadn't been deposited, but Martha ignored my circumstances and only focused on her own desires. I couldn't tolerate her insensitivity any longer. In desperation, I finally told her that her son had passed away, so I couldn't send any allowance. My name is Jennifer Smith. I'm 32 years old, and I work at a major financial firm while also managing household responsibilities. I married Mary 2 years ago. I met my husband, Mark, through our shared hobbies. He was kind and had a warm smile that drew me to him. We quickly fell in love, got engaged within a year, and believed we were perfect for each other. After a smooth courtship, we married. But then came the problem. Martha, my mother-in-law. Her husband had passed away. A few years ago, Mark's family situation became apparent to me. Since Mark didn't have any siblings, his only remaining family was his mother, Martha. The trouble started when I visited Martha's home for the first time to introduce myself before our wedding. "Nice to meet you, Martha," I said. Martha clearly showed her displeasure and responded, "Ah, so you're Mark's fiancée." "Yes, my name is Jennifer Miller." Martha then commented, "You're a rather plain girl. I wonder what Mark sees in you, huh?" I couldn't tell if she was joking or being serious, but her words shocked me deeply. Seeing my reaction, Mark frowned at his mother. "Hey, Mom, what's with the sudden harsh words? How can you say such things to the person I chose?" "No, Mark. I'm just trying to choose a suitable woman for you," Martha replied. Mark retorted, "Choose? I'm the one who chose her. You have no right to meddle. Don't say it in such a cold way. I'm just telling the truth because I care about you." Mark argued with his mother about supporting our relationship, but the tension only grew. It was awkward for me to witness this clash between them, especially since it was my first meeting with Martha. Despite the discomfort, we managed to express our intention to marry. As we were leaving, Martha called out to Mark, sounding somewhat disgruntled. "Mark, can I have a word? You're going to keep that promise after you get married, right?" "What promise?" Mark asked. "You know about the allowance," Martha replied. Mark agreed to take care of it, but asked to discuss it later. This conversation left an uncomfortable atmosphere between my husband and his mother, thick with tension. In the car on the way home, I asked Mark about the allowance issue. "Hey, Mark, about the conversation you had with your mom as we were leaving." "Yeah, I should have told you about it, Jennifer. After my dad passed away, I've been sending money to my mom every month." "How much?" I asked. $2,000, Mark admitted. $2,000? I couldn't hide my surprise. Mark sighed deeply and explained slowly, "Actually, my mom has a debt from a long time ago, when she lost a lot of money at a casino. She's been paying it off, but her health isn't great, so she spends a lot of time at home and still needs money to live on." I was surprised and asked, "But isn't $2,000 a bit much? Can't we lower the amount?" Mark replied, "If I try to lower it, she keeps calling me repeatedly. No matter what, she's still my mom, and I worry about her living alone." I understood that Mark was devoted to his mother because she was his only family left after his father passed away. Despite Martha's difficult personality, she was still his beloved mother. I only saw my husband as a kind person at that time. 2 months after our wedding, during my lunch break, I received a phone call from Martha on my smartphone. "Hello, Martha," I answered. "Jennifer, long time no see. Can we chat for a bit?" Martha's tone was cheerful. "Sure. What can I do for you?" I asked. "I was hoping you could start sending me money," Martha said bluntly. I was taken aback and struggled to respond. Martha seemed excited to continue. "You mentioned before that you're working for a financial company, right? That means you have a good salary, doesn't it?" "Well, not exactly," I replied, trying to dodge the request. Martha insisted, You're lying to avoid giving me money. Frustrated, I asked, "What do you mean?" "You're still receiving financial support from Mark, aren't you?" Martha challenged. "So what?" I replied firmly. I felt Martha was not appreciating the fact that she was already receiving $2,000 a month from Mark. Martha then asked for an additional $1,000, claiming it would avoid burdening Mark further. She explained, "I have Mark as a guarantor for my debts. If I fail to make payments, the debt collectors will go after him. Do you understand?" "But aren't you using part of Mark's $2,000 to pay back the debt?" I asked. Martha admitted, "I'm short. I haven't told Mark, but I have a significant amount of debt." It was clear from Martha's tone that this was a serious issue, and even her husband was unaware of it. Considering our future plans of having children and the increasing expenses, taking over Martha's debt was not easy. If Martha's payments fell behind and the debt defaulted to Mark, the interest would accumulate significantly over time. Refusing to send money could eventually become a problem for my husband. It seemed better for Martha to address her debt directly. After reluctantly agreeing to Martha's proposal, I started sending her money as requested. Martha was thrilled and exclaimed, "Good Jennifer! I knew you would say that." The total, with Mark's contribution, will be $3,000. "This means you can pay off your debt, right?" "Yes, of course. I should be able to pay it all off in about a year," Martha assured me. "You promise you'll make sure to pay off all your debts?" I asked. Martha confirmed, "I get it. So, I'll be expecting it from this month onwards." She then ended the call abruptly. The stress from work and this emotional burden took a toll on me. $1,000 a month, that's going to be rough, I thought to myself. But I rationalized that it was to prevent future problems for us. If Martha couldn't make a living, it would upset Mark as well. That night, I told my husband about the situation. He told me I didn't have to do this, but I had already given my word to Martha, believing it was a decision made for our future well-being. Mark expressed his gratitude and understanding, although he looked sorry throughout the conversation. Time passed, and 2 years later, we were still transferring $3,000 every month to Martha. Unexpectedly, Mark fell ill about 2 months ago and has been unable to work. He's receiving disability benefits, but they are much less than his previous salary. Last month, I managed to transfer $3,000 to Martha from my savings, but if this situation continues, it will become very challenging for us. What's more, Martha hasn't visited her sick son even once. Despite us informing her about his hospitalization, she only contacts me to ask if we're still sending the money. Frustrated and angry, I decided to confront Mark about the issue. "Don't you think it's wrong that Martha is only concerned about money, even though you're in such a state? We need to think seriously about what to do going forward." I expressed my concern. Mark agreed, "Yeah, I've been thinking the same thing. I don't want to put more strain on you, Jennifer. This month, too, she's been bombarding me with calls and messages asking if we've sent the money yet. Are you serious? How can she only think about money when her own son is sick?" Mark's face showed anger and weariness. Then, as if he had an idea, he exclaimed with a sly grin, "That's it?" "What is it, Mark?" I asked, curious. "This is our last resort. I've come up with something. Something good for my mom," Mark replied cryptically. Mark suggested a plan that surprised me. Although it seemed inappropriate, it appeared to be the only way to make Martha understand. A few weeks later, Mark was discharged from the hospital, but Martha didn't reply to any of our messages. We decided not to inform her about Mark's discharge. Martha has been relentlessly demanding money, showing no concern for her son's well-being. While Mark and I were having tea, my phone buzzed with a message revealing 13 missed calls from Martha. As expected, my phone rang again, and it was Martha calling once more. "Hello," I answered, turning on the speaker so Mark could hear too. Martha immediately shouted, "Where's the $3,000 for this month?" "Excuse me, Martha. The money hasn't been transferred yet," I replied calmly. "I don't care if he's in the hospital or whatever. It's none of my business. You're working at a good place, right?" You must have plenty of savings. Hurry up and transfer it here, Martha demanded angrily. Then, unbelievably, she said something shocking. Listen, since you married Mark, if he can't pay, you have to pay me. Understand? If you refuse, I'll make you the guarantor. Got it? At that moment, something inside me snapped. Martha was openly displaying her greed without considering our situation at all. I had reached my breaking point with her. She didn't even try to reflect on her own actions. I had no choice but to resort to the last resort. I firmly declared into my smartphone, Mark has passed away. I can't send you any more money. Martha responded with baffled disbelief. What? This was the last resort that Mark suggested, lying to Martha about his death to see her reaction. If she showed any sign of sadness or reflection on her behavior and apologized, we would continue to support her financially. But if she didn't and demanded money, we would sever ties completely. Deep down, I thought even a money-driven woman like Martha would deeply reflect on her actions upon hearing that her own son had died. However, Martha burst into loud laughter. What's so funny? I asked, taken aback. Well, isn't it obvious? If Mark is dead, that means his inheritance will be distributed to me too. I've been looking into it since I heard that Mark was sick, Martha said callously. I never thought that when she first heard that her son was sick, she wouldn't look into treatment, but into how the inheritance would be divided. I thought to myself, overwhelmed with anger and disbelief. My husband seemed to feel the same way. As our eyes met, he slowly nodded. This was the signal to continue with the plan. Once again, I said firmly to Martha, Martha, did you hear what I said? Mark is dead. Martha's response was heartless, I heard. What about it? Aren't you sad your own son passed away before you? Just make sure to send me some. I won't let you get away with not doing it. With that, I hung up the call, feeling numb. I glanced at my husband, who looked visibly shaken and red with anger. Mark, are you okay? I asked, concerned. I'm cutting ties with her. She'll likely come here, Mark replied decisively. As expected, a few days later, Martha showed up at our house. I decided to hide my husband in the next room and confront Martha myself. As she approached me, she looked furious. Hey, give me Mark's inheritance right now, Martha demanded aggressively. I responded firmly, he's already dead, isn't he? It's pointless to say anything now. Yet you never even visited him. Are you really his mother? You're so annoying. I won't give you anything. Martha continued to press. Give me the inheritance right away. I don't mind getting a lawyer. Realizing that further conversation was useless, I thought to myself that my husband should come out now. As he emerged from the next room, Martha was startled, as if she had seen a ghost. Mark, why weren't you dead? Long time no see, Mom, my husband said, surprising Martha. I'm sorry, but the news about my death was a lie. I wanted to confirm your true nature, Mom. I was curious about how you'd handle the allowance if your son died. But you turned out to be a gold digger, just as I suspected, my husband accused her. Martha was taken aback. What? How could you be so disrespectful? My husband silenced her. I'm cutting ties with a toxic parent like you. Martha was in shock, unable to comprehend that her own son was severing ties with her. What? What does this mean, Mark? Martha asked desperately. It means exactly what I said. I can't consider someone like you as my mother, my husband replied coldly. Desperate, Martha pleaded. But what about the allowance? Do you really think I would? My husband interrupted firmly. You're on your own with the debts. Removing. Martha tearfully reached out to my husband, but he forcefully shook off her hand, looked at her coldly, and said, I don't care about your living expenses. You have been living off us without even a single apology. I really understand your despicable nature now. Don't you dare show up in front of us again. Martha begged, Wait, Mark. Are you going to abandon your mother? Ignoring her pleas, my husband grabbed Martha's arm, dragged her to the front door, threw her shoes and bag outside, and chased her out of the house. Martha made a scene outside for a while but eventually disappeared, perhaps unable to withstand the scrutiny of the neighbors. She tried contacting us multiple times, but we ignored all her attempts. We blocked Martha's number and finished moving. Regarding the matter of co-signing for the debts, it became invalid since Martha had made Mark the co-signer without his consent. Therefore, he was not responsible for her debts. Without the allowance from us, Martha seems to be leading a miserable life. It's only natural since she had been using the allowance for her gambling habits instead of paying off her debts. She still has a mountain of debts and is chased by debt collectors every day. Unable to gamble anymore, she seems to be working from dawn to dusk. It's unlikely that she will be able to pay off her debts completely, and she will have to keep working until she is unable to move. As for us, we are enjoying fulfilling days in our new home. My husband's condition has stabilized, and he has returned to work. Moreover, there's a new life growing in my belly, and we're going to have an additional member in our family next year. From now on, we want to spend happy days as a family of 3.